Welcome back, fight fans, to Gladiators of the Cage 19 here in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. We're ready now for the pros to get started. We have 4 professional fights right now, and here is what the professional rules consist of.
Professional rules consist of there is no shin protection like there is in amateurs. You are allowed to kick to the head, you're allowed to knee to the head, and you're also allowed to elbow to the head. There is ground and pound allowed, and there is also heel hooks and twisting leg locks are allowed in the professional rules.
Absolutely, and sometimes that's something that's very important that we've seen earlier in the fights. Maybe the fights would have went a little different. But now let's go to the tail of the tape for our first event of the evening in the professional level. First fight of the evening, Jason Alexander coming back after Gladiators of the 18 with an impressive win. He's 28 years old. He's 5'6". He weighs in at 145 pounds. He's 2-0. He's going up against Brandon Seyler. He's 26. He's 5'7", and he's also 145 pounds with a professional record of 3 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest.
I'm looking very forward to these upcoming professional fights. It is going to be action-packed, and I am very excited to watch.
I also, Rich. Well, no further ado, let's go back to Dan Bogan as he gets ready for our first professional fight of the night. First off, congratulations to Chip Snyder receiving an award there. Chip's one of the best around and a great guy. But right now, this next fight is brought to us by Gardens of Paradise. Rich, tell us a little bit about Gardens of Paradise.
Gardens of Paradise, you can buy random things such as guarding equipment. You have Carhartts, you have Dickies, you could buy boots, shoes, you can buy it all.
Everything.
Everything. I don't know. You might have got that jacket there. I'm not sure.
It's very possible, Rich.
Minus the cat.
A little bit of cat hair that Rich has been pointing out. I was attacked a little earlier. He won't say the name of my cat, though, to embarrass me.
It's embarrassing.
So,
it's Peaches.
Peaches the cat is responsible for all the fluff and fur that you may see on me from a distance. But back to the fighters now. This is our first professional fight of the evening. We have Brandon Seyler fighting out of the blue corner. It's the 135-pound division. 3-3 is Brandon Seyler. He's got his hands full with a really tough opponent here in Jason Alexander, who will be making his way out shortly. Rich, I know you've been looking forward to this fight. We got a chance to know Jason on a personal level also, and I think both of these guys are ready to go for it.
I agree. Brandon Seyler just fought at the King of the Cage not too long ago. He had a nice, tough fight. He went the distance. I talked to him a little bit earlier. He enjoys to strike. He is 26 years of age, and he trains at 3 Elements of MMA in Erie, Pennsylvania.
You know, and the 135-pound division, as we've been seeing, is a very tough division. It seems that there's no easy fights in the 135-pound division, especially on the professional level. And he's 3-3, so he's got an even record. But like you said, he will go out and gunsling. He likes to fight. Kid likes to scrap. Going up against another guy who doesn't mind scrapping. Very well-rounded also in Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander is from Team Undisputed in California. He wrestled at Fort LaBeouf. We know he likes to wrestle. He has been wrestling for 23 years. It is unbelievable. You would say, oh, he's going to go take it to the ground. He will win at any cost, he tells me.
Can you imagine that? 23 years of wrestling experience.
He's been wrestling since 6 years old.
Wow. And there's the cue for Jason Alexander. We hear his music starting. He's ready to make his way out to the cage. I'll tell you, so far I've really been impressed overall with the fight card. From the very beginning of the fights, there's a lot of really good matchups, a lot of interesting matchups, where you think, well, how's this fight going to go? And really, no big surprises, I don't think, but because we expected big things, and they've really been good matches. This next match here, this is one I've really been anticipating. I've become a fan myself, and to Jason Alexander and what he did last time to Dalton Brady, man, I was a big Dalton Brady fan, and he submitted the brown belt, Dalton Brady.
He owned him. That was a great choke. He took full advantage of what was open, and don't take anything away from Brandon Seyler. He also has a Bellator fight under his belt. Bellator is a big crowd. It's bigger than this crowd, and I can only imagine the nerves. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. What we're looking at is seasoned fighters, and once again, going back to those professional rules, they've really adapted in Pennsylvania the ruling of the unified rules of mixed martial arts. So what you see on, maybe you're new to the sport, if you've watched a UFC or an Ultimate Fighting Championships or one of these other events like Bellator that we have several fighters, and we've also had fighters move on from here to the Ultimate Fighting Championships, it's an easy transition because all of these fighters and our rules in Pennsylvania to the pros have adapted to those unified rules of mixed martial arts. So when they go to the next card or the bigger event even than ours, they're ready, they're prepared, and it's kind of what we would call all-in MMA, where everything that is legal in MMA is legal in these matches.
I agree. And for the fighters' protection, they don't just allow anybody to become a professional. They want to make sure you're ready because it's a serious game. Whenever people are throwing knees to the head, kicks to the head, and elbows are very, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And, something that we touched on earlier, we've seen a couple of the amateur fighters both going for twisting leg locks just out of habit, and you can't do it. Those are some of the most dangerous moves in the sport. A lot of grappling tournaments will not even let you touch the ankles. So interesting side on that. I do believe we're ready for Dan Bogan with the official introduction of our fighters.
Our first pro fight is in the Gladiators of the Cage professional bantamweight division, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. First fighting out of the blue corner, he weighs 135 pounds. Striking is his specialty. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, 26 years of age, 3-3. He fights for 3 elements: Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. From Erie, Pennsylvania, Brandon Seyler. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 136 pounds. He's a freestyle fighter, stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, 28 years of age, an undefeated record of 2-0. He fights for the Undisputed Fight Club in California. He's from Erie, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Jason Alexander. Third man in the cage is Chip Steiner, green belt Chip Steiner.
Drew. Okay, gentlemen, here we go. Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Come on, let's bang!
Rich, we're ready for the first professional fight of the evening.
They come out feeling each other out. Remember, they have 5 minutes.
Wow.
To get it going.
Alexander, look at those hard knees. Great flurry of punches thrown by Seyler. Seyler looking to secure that takedown. Very good job of Alexander. He proved in his last fight, very difficult to get to the ground. Nice knees. He's really working those inside knees, but every time he gets that knee inside landed, he pays for it for some wild right and left hands by Seyler.
And as you can see, Jason Alexander is coming out swinging. He even has 23 years of wrestling experience. You're expecting him to go to the ground, but he came out swinging. He wants to strike.
Look out. This is a terrible position right now for Seyler. Alexander has fully mounted, and he's now looking for the choke. He's once again, remember, he's allowed to work punches here to the face. Professional rules. Everything that is allowed in MMA is allowed in this fight right here.
Good turnaround by Brandon Seyler.
Good job. Nice way to pull the hips away from Alexander. Alexander, look how good, though, he is of trying to get up, working good, but a nice pass by Seyler. Look at the reversal to mount.
Beautiful, beautiful sweep.
What a great job by Alexander. Seyler's got to be careful here. Nice job, Alexander, with control.
There's a lot of good hip work going on.
Oh, phenomenal work on both sides. Now looks like Kimura is going to be tried, but Alexander rides him straight to the ground, keeps heavy on him, and once again, he's away from the guard, inside control of Seyler, and he's making him pay with some vicious elbow strikes.
You got knee on belly. He's going to try to work that left arm in between Jason Alexander's legs.
Once
that will
again,
open up a
full mount by Alexander. Full mount.
turn vicious elbows.
There's the elbows combination again.
He traps the arm. As you see, Jason Alexander trap Brandon Seyler's arm. That's what he's trying to do.
Very good job. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get one of Alexander's arms trapped and then just have full rain of punches. Even though it looks like he's just throwing elbows now and then, he's actually setting up the elbows. As crazy as that sounds, he's putting everything together here, and he's picking his shots.
It's all about distractions and being 1 or 2 moves ahead of the game.
Note that something else that Alexander's doing a very good job at, posturing and not letting him close, not letting Seyler, that is, close that guard. See how Alexander already has his left knee around? So he's really saving himself from a lot of submission attempts. Seyler's doing a good job, though, working, creating space. Now he's looking for a rolling leg lock. Dalton Brady tried several of these with no success.
And it's very dangerous going after leg locks because it does leave your face wide open.
It does
it's
expose
very
it.
dangerous.
Right, it definitely does expose it. When you're on a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament or a grappling or catch wrestling tournament, whatever you'll have it, you can go for sometimes those leg locks and not have to worry about getting a hammer fist to the face. Here you can't. That's where the sport changes.
Jason Alexander doing a good job of transitioning over and over. He is persistent on trying to get this mount. But Brandon Seyler is doing a great job shrimping.
Yeah. I think this is where Alexander wanted it, quite honestly. He ground Dalton Brady out his last fight. I mean, tremendous job, good hip movement. He's not staying still. He's advancing. He's looking for a choke here. Seyler realizes it, and he's already trying to grab his own hand and create space there. Doesn't look like that Alexander's going to be able to get this, but he's definitely weighing heavy. Good job of spinning, but look, right inside control, Alexander lands.
And you can see in Brandon's face, he is well relaxed, even though he's not in control right now. He is relaxed. He's waiting for an opening.
Exactly. Good up kicks. Alexander jumps back in, but now he's in the guard. This is very interesting. Seyler's lifting legs, but they're very close to the fence. I don't think any submission's going to be able to be pulled there, Rich.
He's stacking them. That's just going to open up more submissions. Oh, he's going for a triangle here.
Good job.
Jason Alexander does a great job of stacking and pulling away.
Exactly. And what we mean by stacking, fans, if you're new to the sport, being able to put your hips in close and raise your back straight up and keep it in a straight line. We also call that posturing and stacking. It keeps the submission game very difficult for your opponent. It really makes kind of takes away the upper body as far as triangles and arm bars goes, Rich.
And it's very uncomfortable because you have your opponent on your neck.
Exactly. Putting a lot of weight into your head and neck while doing it.
On his neck, excuse me.
Good job there, keeping the elbow in the face.
On, let's keep
Alexander
working, boys.
constantly staying in his face,
busy.
breathing well. Look how, again, it's a battle here. Alexander already has his left leg over the right leg of Brandon Seyler, and it seems kind of odd. Seyler doing a good job keeping what we call a butterfly hook.
Stop fighting, stand up,
or an elevator on the left side there. Good job by Chip Snyder.
Chip Snyder does a good job standing him up. He was warning them prior to that. They got to be moving.
10 seconds. This could be something here to steal a round. Big hands thrown by Seyler. He does love to throw, doesn't he, Rick?
He does. He is. That was just a brawl. That was a great way to end a round.
It was, and it definitely scored him some points there.
And right now, I'm going to score 1-0. Jason Alexander, he controlled Brandon Seyler the whole time on the ground. What we don't know about Brandon Seyler, he has experience. He can work out of anything.
Right, and that's the big question. You know, the last fight against Dalton Brady, if fight fans got to see it, I mean, it may be something you want to go back and check out. kind of the same way. A lot of movement on the ground, but Alexander kind of dictating the pace of where the fight went on the ground. And it looked like he was in danger a couple times, but like a magician, he just got out of these really bad positions that he was in with Dalton and never lost his composure, never really felt dangered, I don't think, and pushed through and finally took the fight in the 3rd round. And it seems like that's almost the same game plan he's implementing here.
Now, if you were in Brandon Seyler's corner, what would you be saying to him right now?
Great question. He's throwing a lot of punches. He's doing a lot of things right. Try to keep separation. Don't go in as much on the punches. Keep separation. Keep Alexander at the end of your punches, and maybe mix an inside leg kick in there to keep that takedown away.
I couldn't agree more.
Hey, there.
Chip Snyder cleaning up the floor.
It was messy cornerman, Rich.
I tell
Okay,
you, it's hard to keep everything clean.
You ready?
You're in a rush.
You ready? Round 2, let's go. Come on.
Chip should have a small broom and a dustpan. I don't think he'll like that idea. 2nd round beginning, very hard leg kick. They listen to some of the advice going down low, but Alexander pushes in deep. Good job. Now, he's staying in close quarters and throwing those punches.
Jason Alexander wants to take it to the cage. He wants to hold him against the cage. And Brandon Seyler, he wants to throw punches. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, he likes to make these fights dirty. Look, he grabbed the guillotine. Now that guillotine's tight. Alexander has his arm in there. He's tapped.
Oh, that was a nice submission.
Beautiful job. The 4th choke of the evening, Rich. And a man that I didn't think was going to get choked after his surviving Dalton Brady's onslaught. Man, Jason Alexander goes down to the guillotine with the arm in.
He went in, he got the guillotine, and what Brandon Seyler did correctly was he extended his hips out and made it even worse for Jason Alexander.
Exactly, and Jason actually did what you want to do as far as defending that guillotine, meaning you get an arm in. You don't allow your opponent's both of his hands to get caught in there. And in doing so, what happened was he actually had the arm in there, and it was creating space, but it was just so tight and well adjusted. If you adjust that just right and go to the top of the head, you can get a lot more pressure on that. And he extended the hips like you mentioned. Great job of finishing that choke. I don't know. I hope we have a replay on that. And I think we're ready right now for the replay. Rich, walk us through it if you would.
Well, Jason Alexander going for the takedown from the 1st round all the way to this round. Brandon Seyler simply waited for an opening. And he got an opening, and he sunk in that guillotine deep. And he extended his hips, and that was it.
And you may have answered the question you asked me, what would I have done? But it sounded like his cornerman probably had a really good game plan. He's pressuring that takedown. He's looking to get it, but he's exposing his head while he's doing it. Use that guillotine. We've worked on it in training. We watched his last fight. Good job at adjusting to the fight and taking control and finishing a very tough opponent in Jason Alexander. Very great job done by Brandon Seyler.
Like I was saying before, Brandon Seyler, he was being patient, and that's the name of the game, being patient and not jumping into anything. You got to be sure.
Exactly.
Be sure.
I think we are ready for the official announcement. Let's go to Dan Bogan to get our announcement of the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ended at 32 seconds of round number 2 and ended with a guillotine choke for your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Brandon Seyler. Brandon.
Hey.
I gotta say, take the highlight. Who do you want to thank today, Brandon?
I want to thank my team, 3 elements. My boy, Jared Segura. I know with my corner. My teammates that came out supported me. I had a tough road the last couple fights, but
damn, good job, that was crazy shit, huh?
I love it. I knew you gassed. There was one point here where the elbow had to deep choke me, but there's no substitute for it. You got hurt. Now I'm going to the end.
On social media already this morning, I heard people call out the winner of this fight tonight, namely the Madman Charlie Gass. What's your plan? You want to fight him soon, or is anyone on the radar again?
I'll be the ones I'll beat him again.
He said that he wants another shot at you. That's up to the board. Let's hear it for our winner, Brandon Seyler. Thank you, Charlie Rich.
Guys, what a great matchup. Brandon Seyler showing that he can adjust. His corner, I think, did a phenomenal job also, helping him adjust and get the hard-fought victory to make his record now 4-3 and giving Jason Alexander his very first loss inside the cage. Actually, want to mention one more of our great sponsors who's going to be sponsoring our next professional bout.
Our next bout is brought to you by StreamPittsburgh.com. It's your #1 resource for live entertainment.
You want to watch Gladiators of the Cage live and all the events going on in Pittsburgh, get on to livepittsburgh.com. Take it out, check it out. We got a great a bunch of episodes from Gladiators of the Cage. You can check out our past episodes. But right now, let's go to our next fight, the tail of the tape, for our second professional fight of the evening. Actually, we're going to do a quick commercial before that. Let's go to commercial right now.